So that's me. I really drive to work with Velcro rollers in my hair. I go through the carpool like that. I'm in rush hour traffic like that. I walk into the TV station wearing curlers. Isn't my husband a lucky guy? Okay, so next thing to know, my bosses were kind of on my back telling me that I needed to post more to social media. This is a true story, confession number one. So one day when I pulled into the parking lot, I thought I'll just record myself confessing that I wear curlers out in public. And I posted that video to Facebook, and that's how Curler Confessions was born. I started posting more videos. Some are silly.
Ew, she's so weird.
Colleen, that not look sexy.
Some are more serious.
We oftentimes are comparing our broken hearts to a fictionalized account of what we think someone else's life is.
People responded to these videos in ways that I never could have imagined. So I took it on the road with Curler Confessions Live. And it turns out there are a lot of people who feel the need to confess stuff and to be real. And here's what I found. When we share who we really are, the things that we struggle with, or the things that we think make us weird, we find that we are not alone. So who's with me? Don't leave me alone. Join us Thursday mornings here on Wake Up Charlotte for Curler Confessions. I promise to always try to keep it real. Hashtag keep it real. Is this what the kids do? Is this what it is? Hashtag?
I've had an idea for a podcast for at least 3 years, but I kept saying things like, I don't have time to work on that, and I don't know how to podcast. And guess what? As a result, Mama ain't got no podcast. I got so sick of my lame-o excuses. I say I don't have time, but I managed to watch Netflix. I say, I don't know how, but I don't know if you've heard, there's this thing called YouTube where you can find out how to do virtually anything. What is it that you want to create or do or change in your life? Maybe you want to lose weight, get a new job, start a blog, find your soulmate. The bottom line is no one else is going to put time into getting those things for you. I know you've got kids and a full-time job and a million other things, but you can take one small baby step toward your dream or goal today. Just a few minutes. It took me just a few minutes to order my podcasting equipment. Your dreams, the desires of your heart, are worth your time. We all have stuff that we're embarrassed to admit, things we might not want to tell other people. This is what I cook for dinner 2 nights a week. Everyone seems to love it. I get no complaints. I love watching football with my family because it's something we can all do together, but I must confess, I don't always understand football. First down, offside, flags are flying, I don't know what's going on. I do know, though, my fantasy team got 50 points thanks to Christian McCaffrey. I often say I'm going to do a juice cleanse because I think it's healthy, and then I remember I don't really like green juice. Okay, tell me you've done this one too. You're at the grocery store and you see someone you know, but you're not feeling particularly chatty. Maybe you look a little schleppy, so you might go out of your way to avoid having to say hello to them. And here's one for you. See this mannequin at the sporting goods store? I find him oddly attractive. Don't judge me. Stop judging me. Okay, so what do you got? Is there something that you want to confess? Go ahead, let us know. I promise you'll feel so much better. There's freedom on the other side. I confess I used to be a chronic people pleaser. I would say yes to things that I didn't necessarily really want to do just so that people would like me or they wouldn't be mad at me. For example, Colleen, would you like to MC our event on a Saturday? It'll only take 9 hours. And I would say, okay, just because I didn't want them to be mad at me. So as a result, my calendar would fill up with all these commitments, stuff that I didn't necessarily really want to do, and I would feel this dread in my heart. Then I learned something that changed everything. No is a complete sentence. And when you learn how to say no, your yes means so much more. Brené Brown has a mantra that I like to use: choose discomfort over resentment, meaning I'm willing to feel uncomfortable for the 30 seconds it takes for me to tell you no, instead of feeling angry and resentful leading up to whatever this commitment is. So now when someone asks, will you come to our progressive dinner party and host the appetizer portion? I simply smile and say, no, thank you for thinking of me. No apology, no explanation is needed. No is a complete sentence. I confess a steady diet of social media sometimes can make me feel bad about me. But then I think about my own social media feed. On Facebook, I have nice professional pictures of me and my family. There are pictures of me at seemingly really glamorous events, but what you don't see in those pictures is that I had my makeup professionally done, and the dress I'm wearing, it's not even mine, it's borrowed. What you have to remember is when it comes to social media, you're not seeing the whole picture. If you're feeling bad after what you see, maybe it's because you're comparing your life to this made-up story or narrative that you're weaving together based on someone else's post. And even after you remember that, if you're still feeling bad by what you see, if you're going down the rabbit hole, stop, turn around. If it makes you feel crummy, you don't have to follow it. Use the unfollow, the block, or the mute features. Instead, follow stuff that lights you up, gives you energy, makes you laugh, or teaches you something. Social media can be a beautiful thing and you can make it work for you. And while you're at it, follow me on Instagram. Happy Thanksgiving! As great as this day can be, maybe it's a little hard for you because you're not with family. Or maybe it's hard for you because you are with family. Maybe it's hard for you because you're overwhelmed with all the things you have to do. I confess I can have some complicated feelings during the holidays. What always makes me feel better is to catch what I'm thinking about and sink into gratitude. I meditate on all the things I'm thankful for, of course, like family, friends, and health. And other things like the change of seasons, a great cup of coffee, cute shoes, puppies, music, laughter. And I want you to do this today too. Get really detailed about what it is that you're grateful for. Write it down and then read that list often and add to it. Cultivating a gratitude practice is something we can do not just on Thanksgiving, but year-round. There's beauty all around us. We just need to open our eyes and train ourselves to see it. Happy Thanksgiving. I was at a dinner party with a group of women recently, and the hostess asked us all to answer this question: what are you most proud of this year? Almost everyone groaned. No one really wanted to answer the question, and I confess at first I didn't want to answer it. I thought, I'm not killing it this year. I didn't run a marathon. I didn't write a book. People were uncomfortable at first, sharing about themselves in such a positive way and talking about what they've accomplished. But once we started sharing, it led to this really rich conversation and a celebration of every person in that room. It's so easy for us to be critical of ourselves, but we need to notice the things we've accomplished, not to minimize them or downplay them. I'm not talking about being braggy or conceited, but to really stop and acknowledge even the small ways in which you've grown this year. What are you most proud of this year? Ask yourself that question. Your spouse, your kids, your friends. It'll lead to great conversation. It's the most wonderful time of the year, right? Then why am I so stressed out? I'm worried about overspending, overwhelmed with everything that needs to be done, and I'm concerned I'm not making Christmas magical enough for my children. So many of us feel this way. How about this? Instead of saying, I really should go to that boring office party, ask yourself, what do I want to do this holiday season? If the thought of addressing Christmas card envelopes makes you cranky, then don't do it. You don't want to make 8 dozen cookies for the cookie exchange? Guess what? You don't have to. For me, what brings me joy is to give to someone in need and to do so anonymously, or to snuggle up on the couch with my family and watch Elf. If it feels like joy, move toward it. If it doesn't, then don't. This is good self-care, and practicing this will lead to a bright, twinkly, sparkling holiday season for you.